community is so important to me. Like I love people and I love community, and it's just a sense of bringing people together to inspire and motivate them and to influence them in a positive way. You know, especially the kids. I feel like they need a lot of inspiration. A lot of kids don't have too much to look forward to. I feel like they need a lot of inspiration in that.
Yeah.
And just bringing people together in the community. That's what I absolutely love.
Welcome to the In the Arena podcast. My name is Jared Miguez, a co-host on this podcast that brings you the inspiring stories of our clients who are leaders and innovators across different industries in Southeast Louisiana. They are visionary entrepreneurs, savvy real estate professionals, media creators, military business owners, and community champions. And we are going to showcase the remarkable achievements and share their personal stories. Tune in for insightful conversations, valuable lessons, and motivational stories that are going to reveal their secrets to success and offer you insights to help you on your own path. Welcome to In the Arena Podcast.
Well, welcome to the In the Arena podcast, buddy. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be here. I'm very excited. This is great. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know that Lauren is about to get really excited because
Yeah.
you're from Slidell.
Slidellians. Whoop whoop.
The energy level rises when we get Slidell people in the building.
We go way back, man. Because that's the Slidell community.
Yeah.
Like, you know one another, you support one another since we were kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So this goes back to like grade school.
Me and Lauren, we went to school together in grade school.
Yep.
And then Jason, you and I went to school in high school.
Yep.
Very cool.
And it's all the same community, all the same people in Slidell. So it's
Where'd you go to high school?
Salmon.
Salmon High School. Go
Salmon High.
Spartans.
Gotcha. Okay, I knew she was just plugging that for Lauren because I knew she wanted to get that out.
Go Spartans.
Yeah. We need to get a Spartan hat on our
You
shelf
got
over
it.
here.
Let me make a call.
I would love to.
Let me make a call.
Slidell
We
here.
support every high school in Slidell,
Yeah.
so we could get them all. But
For sure.
I do love my alum.
Well, since y'all have been friends for so long, I'll let you do the honors of introducing him to the audience.
Josh Wichterich, and he is a local artist, which I'm very excited about because that's not something that we've talked about on the podcast before. And watching you grow and turn your passion into a business, it's incredible. It's inspiring, and it makes me proud. And I love to highlight another person from Slidell.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
I have a friend from growing up from high school that I'm super proud of too, because he's not an artist in a way, but he's on social media and sports.
Yeah.
And he is who he was when he was a kid, and everybody kind of was like, it's Lloyd Courtney, who's phenomenal, and he's on a lot of sports radio now, and people know who he is. But growing up, people were like, Lloyd's just a character and a clown, and he is that same guy doing what he loves now, but he just stuck to who he was and came out benefiting from it, and people love him now.
It's a
so
cool story when that happens.
props to you for sticking it out, man. That's great. So tell us about your business, right?
Yes.
You're an artist, but you're a unique artist in what you do to make money. So what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm an artist, illustrator, and an author from Slidell.
Yeah.
And so I started my own business called Blue Ink Press. So what I do is I'll illustrate children's books, and I will put them together in print-ready formats. And, if that's from the covers to the text, I'll work with the authors and direct them in certain, if they want to traditionally publish or self-publish, I help direct them in self-publishing. But there's different platforms of publishing, so I'll help direct them in which way they want to go.
Cool.
And so we'll get the children's book together, and I'll help them launch it and get it out.
So that's interesting. The process for doing that, is there that many local publishers in this area?
They have some in New Orleans. They have a few, but self-publishing is really huge because you can have the full freedom to do whatever you want to with it. So basically, they'll be the publisher, and they'll come up with their pseudonym, and they'll get their books out. And the harder you work, the more they're going to get it out.
Yeah.
But so it's basically a self-publishing.
Gotcha. So like you see yourself as a consultant. Obviously, you're a service provider by putting the books together and the artwork. But you've done enough now. You consult people as they go through the process of writing a book themselves. Mm-hmm. You're like, you have an idea, or you want to write a book, a children's book, or whatever, any book. If you've ever done it before, I know that people will get ghostwriters or they'll get publishers to help them with the process and coach them through that, from starting day one, helping them just get the information out on the page, all the way to publishing it and selling it, and then getting it on. There's a process for getting it on the bestseller list too, right?
Yeah, and marketing it, and if they want to be number one top sell on Amazon, there's a certain way you got to do it. It's a lot of like organizing and setting yourself up for it in advance.
So you talk about two different sides of the brain there, dude. You talk about organizing and the creative side, right? And those are a lot of people have a hard time grabbing on both, right? I'm not creative or organized, but we'll figure that out later. But for you,
lies. You exhibit it every day.
But for you, like, what part of it do you enjoy the most, creative or organization?
You know, I like both. You would think that I love to create, obviously. That's just what I naturally do. Sometimes if you do it over and over and over again, it turns into autopilot, and then you start
it loses the creative aspect.
Yeah. And you're constantly doing it. So it's nice to do the other side.
Yeah, the organizational side too.
To organize, to direct them and organize it, and to get the finished product out. And I like both sides, but I feel like the creative side is so natural to me that doing the organizing and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So having both of those tools, that's what makes you so unique.
For sure.
Right?
Yes.
That's usually the compliment that somebody's looking for in another person that allows them to actually move forward. So I think it's cool to kind of set yourself up for success, to sharpen the tools on both sides.
Yes. And it all has something to do with your personality traits.
Yep.
I don't know if you know, there's like 16 personality traits. And a lot of artists are not they call it either a P or a J. A lot of artists are Ps. They're perceivers, that they're usually all over the place. They're not very organized. I'm going to use the word hot mess, or, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And then there's
see the
a
world
J.
as an opportunity. Everything is creative and cool, and they want to test things out. Yeah.
And then there's a J that's more organized and more into like a schedule, and to get from A to Z, let's go through these steps to get there efficiently. And I'm more of a J, and a lot of people were surprised that I am, because most artists are not. But I think that's what makes me do what I'm doing today.
Absolutely.
Running your own business.
It's a business, right? Most creative people have a hard time creating a business out of what they do, because it's so natural to them. I've seen them have a hard time boxing it up and making it a process. Are you referring to the Myers-Briggs in the letter you're talking about?
That's what he's doing, We
Absolutely.
subscribe to the Abelson disc is what we use in our organization. Very similar. It's going to hit on all the, necessary traits. Jared and I have a similar problem, but in the opposite manner, right? Most attorneys are just so compliant.
Right.
They're black and white, yes, no people, and they're not seeking out opportunities. So most attorneys have trouble creating a business, not because they can't check the boxes. They can do that, but they don't know how to market it. They don't know how to take risk. They don't know how to look at things practical rather than just weighing all the legal aspects. So similarly, I think that's what makes us so different, is we have that different aspect to an industry that otherwise fits into a box.
And the thing that the biggest takeaway from this part of the conversation is that you're self-aware enough to know, by reviewing the Myers-Briggs or the DISC and having some sort of awareness to know, like, this is who I'm naturally, this is what I can do. And you built your business around the strengths and weaknesses associated with that. And to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it seems as though you created a structure around all the things that you can create structure around, which ultimately gives you the freedom to be creative in the time where you need to be creative on the projects you're doing, right? You have a system around doing the things that are consistent within your business, but then you'll also be able to meet with somebody and come up with ideas and innovate and be creative. And it's only because all the other stuff is organized and in a place so you can do that.
Right.
Which I think is very, very cool. And a lot of artists who listen to this, I know we have some people who are artists who do listen to this, they can take away that idea of, what can I build out in my business that is consistent, that I do every single time? All right, how do I can meet with somebody who maybe can help me with making that a process, because it's not my gift. And it allows me to feel the freedom to be able to do what I do best, and that's create outside of that world.
Right, yeah. We talked a little bit about it in our retreat today, about building processes for sustainability. When you know that something is painful for you, or it's not your natural reaction to the situation, build a process around it. Because then it'll give you the structure that you need to keep doing it over time, rather than exhausting you. Right.
And also, have y'all ever looked at Maslow hierarchy triangle? So that's very interesting. It's like you look at the triangle, and you could put it into your personal life or your business life, but you starting out with the survival mode at the very bottom. There's a lot of people who are stuck there. You have to make your way up. And we do that naturally when we want to keep going. But you work your way up to like a sense of belonging, and then a sense of confidence, and then you work your way up to aesthetics, and then you go out to where it's like a self actualization, where you you want to do something big, and you feel it, and then you're at the very top to transcendency, and that's kind of like affecting other lives in a positive way. Like Arena, y'all are affecting many lives, like myself. My book's going out, affecting even in other countries.
Very cool.
And that's the kind of mindset that a lot of people should have, and a lot of artists should have, but they're not really thinking on this. A lot of artists are just want to create, but there's a whole other side of it, the business side, to really boost you up to that level.
For sure. From what I hear you saying, once you've transcended, you have a purpose that's beyond just the task you're doing every day, or the survival mode of I've got to do these few things to be able to actually survive and be happy. And there's a difference whenever you've created enough space for yourself to be able to be creative and move up that pyramid of saying, now I have a clear purpose as to why I'm operating my business. It's not just to survive, to make sure that I'm making ends meet, but I have enough impact and I have enough clarity that I know where I'm going.
Yes.
And when you get there, you can see what opportunities you have, and you know that I'm doing the right thing because it is my true calling and purpose. It's the vocation that you have been born with, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Very cool.
That to transcend for me is like, that's where you want to be at. I see like a lot of artists who, I get it. I used to be there. You're doing something and you hope to sell your next art piece, or you want to be involved in this street fair and you hope you sell some prints, but you got to keep going and go above that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You gotta have a bigger purpose.
Yeah. The big purpose. Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, does it frustrate you at all when you hear the term starving artist?
Yes. I really don't like that. And I
hate struggling entrepreneur.
I don't
for the
like
same reason. Like, it doesn't have to be that way.
No, it does not. And I rebuke that term. I'm all about thriving, to be a thriving artist.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And it's all about the mindset too. There's too many artists that they're struggling out there. You don't have to struggle. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time and effort and work, but you don't have to struggle.
I tell my girls all the time, the gratitudes, like when you feel that way, like switch it to blessings, right? So like as an artist, like for someone that can't create, I would want to hear them say like how blessed I am to be so talented that I can create something. Like when I create something, it's expensive. I create businesses. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of money and a lot of energy. And I've watched artists, y'all could just take a blank canvas and to turn it into something beautiful that automatically invokes emotion in someone. That's powerful, right? What a blessing that is. Mm-hmm. So just push through.
And especially from kids' book standpoint, I literally was having a conversation with at dinner on Friday, and one of the moms who has 3 children was a bunch of parents sitting around the table. She's like, I can't stand a children's book that is just like the artwor's not any good and the storyline's boring, right? Because it's what our kids.
We have to read it too.
You have to read it too,
right.
And it's what's inspiring our kids, right? And like if you don't have something that's stimulates their imagination and really, aligns with the values that you have as a parent, then you don't you gotta have more options and better things to pick from. So when you're going through the process of helping somebody create a book, can you walk us through that stage? Like, what somebody walks in day one, I have an idea. How are you going to help them?
Jared's secretly trying to write a book right now.
You want to write a book? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So they will come to me. They'll come with me with a manuscript, and I'll read it. And most authors will give me full creative license, which I love. I love to have full control over it because I feel like that's where my best work comes out. Every now and then, an author wants, they have details, they want it to look a certain way, and they want it to evoke some type of emotion, and that's cool too. So what I'll do is I'll read it, and then whatever story plays out in my head, that's what I'll illustrate. I'll illustrate the most impactful words in the book, the words that give the most action.
Cool.
I won't repeat a scene, because if an author, sometimes authors will send me a manuscript and there's too much talking. There's not really anything going on. Mm-hmm. So I have to create something, some type of storyline, whether it's characters in the background that are doing something interesting, or you have a mouse somewhere on every page you can look for, something creative like that.
Yeah.
So that'll add extra to it. It adds, I call them side stories. So if you look at each illustration, and then you notice these characters in the back. Like, what are they doing? They're doing something, and it's creating their own story in the background that the words aren't really saying.
Very cool.
So I'll do something like that.
Can we do one with fancy shoes? Like every scene, I need a fancy pair of shoes added in.
Yeah, anything like that.
I'll take an arena hat in the back.
An arena.
if it goes with the vibe, you could have fancy pair of shoes in the background. Very cool. I like one of those books that you look for it. Like have to look for those things in the pictures.
Well, especially as a parent, like my kids will get on a bender and we'll read the same book every night for like a month. So it'll give me something like Where's Waldo?
That's a healthy bender. A children's book.
Yeah,
that's good.
If you find me a book that you have, I can start looking for some hidden stories behind the thing. I can start talking. Like my 3-year-old can't read, so I can just talk about the mouse in the background as a story, and we can have a whole different story inside of a story. Mm-hmm. Sounds amazing. You have children? Cool.
Yes, I have 2 kids. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and my son's 17.
So you give them a test run before you actually publish a book sometimes?
I mean, my daughter, like, they have a different personality. My son, he's a teenager. He doesn't care. My daughter, she really doesn't care either. Yeah. Like, she's at that age.
They grow up quick right now.
Do.
Like,
they grow
10
way too
is
fast.
like grown almost. They're not into that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much entertainment elsewhere.
They'll run off. They'd rather look at YouTube. YouTube Kids, YouTube, or some movie. You know?
For sure. Don't trust me. My daughter this weekend's already like taking off down the street to go play with her kids, and she's 8. I'm like, dude, when are you like okay to like go down the street to your friend's house? I mean, yeah, like I said, it happens way too fast. But so one thing we talked about before we got started was you operate your business by yourself, right? No partners, no employees or anything like that. But you do have people that you work with, right? You'll find different people to help along the way. What's your process on how you do that? Are they all local? Are they finding people across the country?
Both. I know a lot of people throughout the United States. A lot of them are local. I try to, whatever one really wants to work, that's the ones I'll reach out to. Some people just, they'll do it for fun or they'll do it on the side. But the ones that are trying to make a name for themselves or trying to get out, I'll pass them a client.
Is there a vetting process? Like, do you have a value system you try to compare them with? Do you look at their past work? Do you have do you look at their reputation? Like, what's your process of like trying to partner with you? Because when we're hiring employees, it's very important to us that there's a value alignment because we're going to be operating together and making decisions together. Yeah. They've got to understand what we're doing and thinking so that it can help us accomplish our goal. As an independent person, I always wonder, how do you look to somebody to partner with them that's outside your organization you don't really have control over, but you got to build a relationship of trust.
Right.
How do you vet
You want to know, like, and trust them. Yeah.
So it's basically building a relationship with them. So, like, if I collaborate with them on projects or whatever book, a lot of them are teachers. A lot of them,
cool.
Actually one of them, I don't remember. Do you know Miss Alburton? Remember?
Yes.
Miss Alburton, yeah. So we collaborated on a book.
Yeah.
She's one of the editors that I'll send people to. It's just establishing connections and just knowing their background.
Very cool.
Yeah, I won't send them to just anybody.
Yeah.
I'm very particular who I connect with and who I collaborate with. I won't collaborate with just anybody.
Nice.
We're like that with our referral attorneys because we don't practice every area of the law. But we even had a conversation about one that's a great attorney, but it's like, do they align with our purpose that it's forwarding, the people and the businesses in our community? And if there's somebody that's just throwing large bills and not giving good advice, then they can't be referred work from us because it doesn't fit our value system.
Yeah, the same. It's like for me when I'm looking at who we're going to refer clients to. It's important to me communication and the client experience, and so I always look for the attorney that's going to communicate the way that I expect to communicate. Because if I'm
which is hard,
which is hard, which is somebody I work with often. I want to know that the person I'm referring them to is going to communicate like me, or because they're going to get frustrated at the experience they're getting. And so, I always wonder that question. When you have an employee on your team, you can set the standard, and you can vet that standard to make sure it's being upheld. Right. As a third party, though, you just have less control. And so it's interesting whenever you have a business built around third party relationships, how you hold them accountable and vet those people.
Yes,
it's very cool. So we talked about how you help somebody at the front end of the process, right? You help them and you make sure that you're helping them and being unique with each one. You look at the manuscript. On the back end, from a marketing standpoint, tell me about the process of marketing a book and what that looks like. Because I have friends who owns books, who've written books, and they've tried to market it. And it's funny because they for 6 weeks, they're like blitz marketing, trying to get it out as fast as they can. I'm sure there's a reason.
Yeah. So if I find that if you try to do this real fast, you may not do as well as you think you will. There's a lot of things you gotta. First of all, the cover needs to be impactful. That's the first thing you'll see. So it's all about the aesthetics to pull them in.
I've heard somebody say that, like they tested like quality of work based on the actual text, and then the effectiveness of the branding of the book, and how they solved the client's problem in the short way on the front. How that sold books faster than the actual marketing material inside of it.
There's a lot into it. Like there's a when you have an art piece that's a contrast of colors, where it's warm and cool colors together, those are more attractive. The way it's set up on the page, I don't know if y'all have heard of the golden ratio, things like that. That's just it naturally it makes sense to you when you look at something. Nice. When you look at something like that looks really nice. I don't know why, but it's because of it's like the blueprint of the aesthetics, so to say. So all that comes into account. Text on the cover, it's a big thing. Like you don't want to use a text that's so used all common. That's used all the time.
For sure.
And then so once you have that, you want the title of the page usually to match the keywords. It gives it more power when the text on the cover matches the keywords that people are prompting. It connects them together and that gets them out. So basically when someone wants to get their book out, it's really important for them to do pre-sales on Amazon. So you can do like free sales, and it's all about the ranking and the number to get it to number one. So you could do like a pre-sale of a book, like you'll launch it. Let's just say you want to launch it December 1st. Start pre-selling your book or getting out or free copies or whatever months ahead of time. And you push that out so that by the time December 1st comes, it's already ranked. It's already been sold many times. So when it comes out, it'll have a ranking already.
Gosh, so the first day, if you pre-sell them, it's going to have all those hit at the same time and it'll show it. Interesting. Like I heard a story that Taylor Swift's dad bought like a trailer full of her CDs before they even went out. So like she was projected ranked number one right before she got started. There you go. Taylor Swift's her system's been cracked here.
Her dadager.
Yeah. We just broke the system right here. I'm gonna go write an album and sing a song and buy a whole.
I'll buy all
album.
your albums for you.
Yeah.
Support.
It works.
It does work. So what projects are you working on right now?
I'm working on a few things. I got a few children's books I'm working on right now. It's a Christmas one by an author. She's from New Orleans. Another author, I forget what state she lives in.
Yeah.
So 2 children's books. I have another prospective client coming in. And then I'm also working on some community projects.
Like what? So what does a community project look like?
So I'm working on Hospice House, the Hospice House for Old Town.
Nice.
Engel and Volkers request me as their artist. So I'll be working on collaborating with them on their house.
So you're doing the artwork inside the house, or what is
It's just it's like a little house, like about like this.
Oh, cool.
And it's like a little shotgun house. So what they're trying to do is they're raising money for Hospice House, and they're going to have those landmarks all throughout Slidell.
Very cool. Oh,
yeah,
very
so I'm
cool.
working on that, and then I'll be working on some boards with Rotary for the Pocket Park in Old Town.
Cool.
And then we'll be doing a service project for Rainbow Childcare soon. It's like a mural on there.
Nice.
That's Jalen's mom's.
Oh,
our
cool.
intern Jalen.
Very good. So, so let's pivot, and the last thing we'll talk about is just the community in general, right? I mean, we're a local based. We say we're a boutique title company. With one of our Lauren Correa, our employee, will laugh at us for saying that, and we consider that boutique, meaning we're local to St. Tammany Parish. Like we're here to impact this community.
Our people.
We go into Tangipahoa Parish and the people that are around this area, right? So like that's where we're trying to focus our time. And we spend our money and our energy and our resources here, and our employees all live here, and our kids go to school here. St. Tammany is important to us. And you're from here, and you said when we got started that you're a community guy.
Yes.
Right? You've named 4 organizations that are really big in our community. So what does impacting the community mean to you?
Community is so important to me. Like I love people and I love community, and it's just a sense of bringing people together to inspire and motivate them, and to influence them in a positive way. You know, especially the kids. I feel like they need a lot of inspiration. A lot of kids don't have too much to look forward to. I feel like they need a lot of inspiration in that.
Yeah.
And just bringing people together in the community. That's what I absolutely love.
You know, and to us, community impact means making our community a better place so that our business owners and we can thrive and accomplish everything we want to accomplish, right? And I'm getting more clarity on that the more I talk about it. You know, we do a lot of support of the charitable organizations. You know, the dollars we give away is a big number, but also just the time that we spend there and the other services we offer them. And you know, people ask, like, what's your purpose in doing that, right? You're working so hard to earn all this money, you're giving it away.
Right.
We're giving it to our community so our community can be a better place so that we can grow. The idea that in order for you to have more opportunity and for everybody on your team and your family and your kids to have more opportunities, you got to make your world bigger, right? And St. Tammany's got so much potential. We got to continue to make it a better place so that we have more opportunity and we can provide more opportunity for our children. And so, you know, that's how we decide who we're going to invest in, which nonprofits, which schools and organizations we're going to give our money to. It's which ones are making the biggest impact, right? And you named a lot of them, like Hospice House and the Rotary and Heroes Who Cook, Hope House. Like, those organizations are really making an impact, and we like to promote them in a lot of our local schools and things like that.
Yes.
Well, the community, being out and about in the community, which Josh does a great job. He's very present in the community. That's where you find what the needs are. If you want to make an impact, you have to be present to understand what's needed. And only then can you even start discerning how you can positively impact the ecosystem. And when you do that, when you're having a good time and people are happy and supporting one another, others are going to be drawn to that. And that's how you're bringing bigger business in. It's all part of that. And it's a cycle that continues. And just being able to build something in my hometown, it's like you grow up watching all these individuals that gave back to our community. And so as they retire, who's going to step in that place, right? One of our values is legacy. And it's like, how is that legacy going to live on? It's going to live on because we actually care. And we care to be present, and we care to put our dollars back in. We care to put our time back in. And you do that with just building relationships with everybody around, right? Yeah. You know, one of my favorite things about growing up in Slidell is how approachable everybody is. And it's approachable in the sense that they're humble enough to talk about the problems, and they're humble enough to be honest with one another about the needs in the community. When you do that, that's when you can have a positive impact.
Yeah.
Yes, community, that's very important. I always really want to inspire other artists to get involved in their community. And, you know, what I'm about to say is, like, I'm an artist, so I can say this. A lot of artists they're very self-centered. You know, they're all about self. And that's because they're working on something. They want to get it out. They want to sell it. A lot of them that's what they do. And they're worried about what they're doing. But it's more important to worry about what the next person's doing, like to help the next person, the community, to be out in the community and to, like you said, show your face everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And there's no shortage of opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
That's what kills me when we talk to so many people and they want an easy solution. I mean, we have people come to us all the time like, can you help me market? And it's like, are you willing to build relationships? Like that really needs to be the question. Can I help you build relationships? I'll introduce you to whomever you want to go to. I'll send you the list of events that we'll be at over the month, but are you willing to sacrifice your time and energy to do that?
Right.
You know, because it can be exhausting. Like, but St. Tammany's we have so many events that they're overlapping across the entire parish. So there's no excuse for somebody not to be out and about.
Yep.
Right.
Sure.
There's always something.
There's always something.
There's always something.
Always.
Just go to it.
Yeah. And I said that was the last question, but I do want to ask you one more thing because I know that you have a big social media presence. So what's the purpose of your social media in relation to your business and how you're trying to grow and make the impact you're making?
It's really important for me to be seen on both social media and in real life. It always opens up another door.
Yeah.
There's so many doors out there, and I feel like the social media is for people to see my artwork. Social media is very important for an artist because I have a lot of people all throughout the United States, not just locally and in other countries. So to share with them and for them to follow what I'm looking at, for them to be interested to buy a children's book, for the authors, like all that. Yeah. All those things.
I mean, do you think at this point it's critical for your business to have a social media page and have a social media presence?
Yeah, I do, because a large percent of my clients, I have a big author in every state, and it reaches it just reaches
them,
more.
yeah.
It's very important,
Yeah.
like to have a strong social media presence.
Isn't that such a blessing? Like, again, when we were kids and watching our parents grow businesses, it wasn't an opportunity. You know,
Right.
their reach was limited. And today it's just, no one has an excuse.
Yeah, and you don't have to be complicated.
And social is free.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
Put
be
in the
complicated
time.
either. I mean, you know, we do. It can seem complicated from an outsider perspective for what we're doing, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, you just need to be consistent with whatever you're doing, and then you have to have clarity on who you're trying to market to, who you're targeting.
Yep.
You know, if you know who you're reaching out to, you can post consistently to get their attention, and you can do it in a simple way. It doesn't have to be overbearing and overreaching. And I actually was driving through the kids' drive to drop my kids off at carpool this morning, and somebody stopped me and rolled down the window and said, "I heard y'all's social media conversation with the social media manager. They're like, now we're going to get a social media presence because we know, like, after that conversation we're bought in." And so I want to start asking that question, like, what do you use social media for? Just to reiterate the fact that it is so critical. And I mean, at a certain point, like we have a whole list of things to do for marketing, and social media is a top 2 or 3 biggest impact. It's only because it allows you to get your name out there more consistently without having to be in front of people every single day.
Yes.
Supporting the community and social media, without a doubt, at the top of the list.
If I would, and I think you nailed it, right? If I was going to name the 2 most important things, it's having a social media presence so people can see the impact you're making, but also having the time to do one-on-one relationship building, because those 2 things right there allow you to stay top of mind for the people that you're reaching out to.
Yep.
So I think that's great. All right, and now we'll say this is the last thing I'll say.
The
Your
third
swag's
last
on
question.
point, dude. Your swag's on point. The lapel pin.
He's got
Thank
the
you.
lion
Badass.
for us.
I'm repping our new Teddy
new
socks that we
socks.
have. See, we got Teddy on the side.
I like that.
So I'll have to
That's
get you
awesome.
a pair so you can have some. So anybody who needs a new pair of socks, we got Teddy on the socks now. We got Teddy on everything.
do.
But no, dude, great conversation, man. I'm
Yes.
glad we got to meet, and
Thank you.
glad you came on.
Thank you for having me.